you let me love you forever, forever? I wanna love you. Will you let me love you forever, forever and a day, 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 day.
Hello, hey guys, welcome to TMW Online, the Melanated Way. I'm Linda, that is Abby. We are catching up. Well, we've caught up almost to all the things. The Other Way, we're covering season 7, episode 20. You guys will see that my background is a little bit different. I'm in the office today, but we're still going to do a great show. Hey, Abby.
Hey. Hello, everybody.
Hi, live chat. Hey, Radella and Fazies. Hey, everyone. Okay. Overall thoughts on this episode. Ayo. Oh, hey. Ayo.
I am feeling like how is it possible that we're having an episode where Luke is the best guy on the show?
I don't know. We're in upside down world. That's all I know. We're in complete upside down world. And what I'll tell you is after 20 episodes, I think every single person from this episode specifically should absolutely call it quits.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I think some of them, like Ginny and Submit, Dylan and Patia, I think that they've spent so much time together that they don't know anything different. They haven't allowed their nervous system to experience anything different. This is status quo for them. Even the threats that they're going to leave, just status quo.
Listen, you guys, be happy, and change is okay. You know, change is okay. All right, let's get into Dylan and Patia. Shout out Silver Lions as well. Dylan and Patia, overall thoughts of their segment.
I don't understand how this is a conversation when Dylan was also an exotic dancer. I don't understand how this is an issue. And also, I made a guess about his immigration issues so many episodes ago, and Patia just gave us a line to let me know that we were wrong. I thought perhaps he was not able to renew his visa in the United States, and that's the reason why they were going to Thailand and now going to Tasmania. But she said that he could just come back to the US with her. So I suppose, to me, I interpret that as there was no immigration issue that was preventing him from being able to come back to the United States.
Interesting. I think he's just a big mama's boy and doesn't want to be away from his mom. That being said, they're going to the gym. They're working on their tries and buys. And Patia is really happy in this moment because she's like, oh, he finally committed. He gave me a ring. We're engaged. It feels amazing. But one of the things that she is realizing more and more that she's there is that she doesn't feel at home there. She doesn't feel at home at all. So, like, I just figure, like, I don't know, Abby, I think maybe just the way my mind is wired, it's just totally different. Like, wouldn't you think of that before you accepted a proposal?
No, because we saw her so focused on the proposal, and we talked about the fact that the same situation that exists right now will still exist after the proposal, but in her mind, everything would change once he proposed to her. So no, she didn't think about it. No, she didn't. We want to think that everybody has the same level of maturity and introspection and forethought, but they don't.
I'm just saying that's probably something that would have come into my mind before I was like, yes, do I want to stay here? Or she's probably thinking, I'm going to say yes, and then I'm going to get him to do what I want to do, and I want to get out of here. So
Maybe that.
Whatever it is, she doesn't feel like at home there, and they went like grape stomping to make wine, and that was like, oh, it was fun, but that's not something that's going to keep me entertained all day every day. I can't live here is basically what she's saying. And she wants to get back to the US, she wants to get back to dancing, she wants to get back to her lifestyle. This slow snail pace for her, it's not working out. So she doesn't feel herself living there, and it's become a problem because she's now told Dylan that she wants to go back to the US and she wants him to come with her, and he doesn't want to, and he's mad about it. So they're at the gym and they're bickering with each other a little bit. It starts off a little bit and then it gets a lot of it. She's working out, he wants to teach her how to work out. Now I thought that this was a super lame beginning of a fight. She's saying, on the one hand, I've been working out for longer than you've been alive. And on the flip side, he thinks because he's so ripped, because he, counts his macros and weighs his food, that he knows more than her. And, I don't know. He could, he couldn't, I don't know. But if she's grown, which she is, and she's worked out, which she has, then let her work out the way she feels she can work out. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Why do you I just don't feel like, if I'm at the gym, and I've always been to the gym, yes, okay, let's say, I'm doing a bicep curl and maybe my foot's a little off. I would probably hope that the person who's training me would use better words than, let me show you how to do it. You know what I mean? And the reason
I think going to the gym as a date with somebody that you're just like freshly dating, it's such a good way to find out how compatible you are, because of instances just like this. Like, do you have in your mind that you're just going to be working out in the same area, or is this person going to automatically trying to dominate you because they think that men are just better at exercise and lifting weights? It's such a good way to like very quickly be able to assess somebody. And if you say, I know how to do it, or I want to do it my own way, do they back off or do they persist?
Yeah.
So in this case, I do think it's a lame start to a fight, but these are things about them that have always been an issue. He thinks that he knows better how to run her life. You need to work on your debt. You need to slow down. You don't need to be in a city. Like, he just thinks that he's better at making choices for her. So this is just a little tiny sample of that.
100%. She doesn't like it when he bosses her around. And like Abby said, he wants to boss her around in her health, her fitness, her finance, all the things. And he tries to turn it back on her and says, well, as if he's the only one that knows best. This woman has been alive longer than you. I think that she might know herself and know her body. And also, she's grown. So she should be able to make grown decisions for herself. Now, I get when you're in a relationship and you are making couple decisions. I'm all about that. Make the couple decision, consult each other, talk to each other, all the things. But you're not going to tell another grown person what to do. That doesn't make sense, to me at least. But he flips on her and says, you know what? I just want it to be the best version of yourself. I want you to be the best version of yourself, which translates into, I think I know what's best for you, so you should just listen to me, which is outrageous. He wants a slow lifestyle, right? He wants to be close to his mama. He wants a slow lifestyle. I'm not really sure what he does anymore, because he too was a stripper, just like Patia. And so he's saying to her, these are his demands. He wants a slow lifestyle and he wants to be included in big decisions. Now, okay. You're saying this is what you want, but Tia, what is it that you want? She doesn't want to be there. And so those two things are not going to work out, because she doesn't want to slow down. She wants to go back to the US, back to her lifestyle, and big decisions. She's already made that decision in her mind that she wants to go back to the US. So hence the problem. The mom, Dylan's mom, is still a big issue. So I don't know what to say. He never said he was going to fix the issue, Abby. He
Right.
heard, but he's not going anywhere. He's going to talk to his mom 10 times a day if he wants to. That's what he's going to do. And he hasn't changed, and he's done this since you've known him. So why do you think in the few months that you're actually there that he's going to change anything? He's been doing this for 30 plus years. So mom's still a big issue, and all of a sudden the strip club is an issue, which I just think is outrageous. It's outrageous because they're both strippers. So now all of a sudden you have a problem with Patia stripping, and the whole 12 years on and off, on and off, on and off, you both were strippers. You were actually in some mega cabaret in Vegas. Like, I'm just confused by it. So, anyways, he accuses Patia of going out with different guys every night and implying that she goes home after the club or goes to hotels with certain customers. And she's like, I know what you're implying. And that's not, I've never done that. I've never done that. He took this out of his insecurities, out of his lack of trust, out of his jealousy. And, you know, a lot of men do this. Okay. A lot of men will accuse you of things that you have not done, A, because they're doing them, or B, because they're insecure, or C, they're going to now start to control you. No, absolutely not. What are your thoughts on that, Abby, before I continue to move on?
I wasn't convinced. Yes, I agree that men sometimes do this, but I wasn't completely convinced that he believes it more than he was just trying to pick a fight with her. Like, he wants her to stay, and he's trying to convince her, well, if you leave, then these are the things that I'm going to think. So we have to stay here and live a slow life. And that's the only way that we're going to be successful as a couple. So I wasn't sure if he really believes what he's saying. I mean, regardless, it's horrible what he's saying, but because it's coming out of nowhere, how are you with somebody for 12 years and you have an issue with their job? You know what I mean? It's like it's he's saying it as if he's ever seen anything with his own eyes that would make him believe that. But there is nothing.
Yeah, but he goes on to say that he let his emotions get the best of him. And I translated that to him being insecure, right? So, like, he's insecure. He's always been insecure with her. And that's why I agree with you that he picked a fight with her. But the fight that he picked was something outrageous because A, like I said, you guys are both strippers. B, you both know what that lifestyle looks like because you both lived it for years and years and years and years. He's still, you know, living the workout, gym, look at me lifestyle. So I just think like it's insecurity. It's insecurity. It's a trust and control. And I want to tell you something. I want to tell you something. A lot of times when guys pick fights like this as well, and I might have said it, but I'm going to say it again because it's worth saying. They pick these fights because they're doing the things that they're accusing you of. Period and full stop. Period and full stop. Ever have a guy think that you're cheating on him and start like asking you crazy questions coming out of nowhere? It's because that fool's cheating. And because he's starting to think, oh, I don't want to get caught, all the things, he's starting to project those insecurities on you. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. So
I think it's the same when guys are like, oh, I don't want to date a girl who travels a lot because they do nefarious things when they're traveling. So they think that we're doing the same thing on a girl's trip.
Exactly.
I think the same thing about those kind of guys.
Exactly. Silver Lining says, why ask her to marry him if he thinks she's crossing the line then? Good question. It's a good question. I think that he is saying, you know, marry me, A, to shut her up, and B, he's hoping to control that whole situation. Like, like I said earlier, he wants the slow lifestyle. He wants to be included in the big decisions. He wants. I think it's that.
It's that birdcage thing. You've heard that where guys love to find an exotic bird with beautiful feathers and sings a beautiful song just so they could put him in a cage and have the bird all to themselves. Patia bird.
Yeah. So he upsets her so much that she doesn't want to talk to him. She walks away. She starts crying. And then he acts like he doesn't know what goes on in the champagne room. Like, Dylan, stop it. Like, just stop it. Stop it because you sound stupid. You've been in the industry for far too long for you to say such stupid stuff. Like, it's just stupid. It's stupid. And it's making me like doubt your character or if this was scripted, or you just sound stupid in this moment and I don't like it. But
Right.
he goes to say that the emotions got the best of him. I again translate that to him being insecure. And so he gets her to come out of the bathroom and he's like, I do trust you, love, but it's just hard because you get so defensive. Listen, these guys that twist things, because he's not the only one that does this, okay? When they twist it and make it about you, I really need you guys to pay attention. Okay, that is manipulation and gaslighting. And it shows me that they don't want to take responsibility for their words or their actions. So instead of them working on themselves and figuring out what is it that I'm doing that I need to control the situation and manipulate the situation, instead, I'm going to make her feel bad about herself and she's going to be the one, so that she has to be the one that's forgiven. It's weird. It's like a weird twist, and you see it a lot. And so you guys pay attention. If a guy's manipulating you, no, absolutely not. And I think Patia is at that point. She starts crying and she's like, I've been telling you for 12 years that I'm not like that. I don't know why I thought it was going to be different. And then he sees in her mind that she's like, oh, I'm out. And he then wants to reel her back in and say, I don't want to lose you. I love you. So the love bombing starts. And she's like, you know what? This is toxic. You're toxic. You love the toxicity of this relationship as well as the drama and roller coaster. You bring the drama constantly. And so that's why we're constantly fighting. Hey, look at the old team is in here. Hey, midwife. Hey. So I'm like, no. If you want to keep your talks, this woman is a grown woman, you guys. She's grown. And Pusula, oh, you guys are making my day.
Oh.
She's grown. Go ahead and pack your bags. He's not changing. He gave you the 12-year-old ring anyways. Go ahead and keep the ring, pawn the ring, pay off your debts, and start anew. That's my advice.
Agree.
Blanca. Everyone welcome Blanca. It's her first time in a live. Welcome. All right. Do you guys want to say anything? Or do you guys? I'm doing too many things, y'all. Do you want to say anything else about Dylan and Patia?
No. Everything on my notes has been covered. We can rock on.
OGs have entered the chat. Yes. All right. Madeline and Luke. I just want to say, I don't know what kind of toxic weirdness is going on in this little situation, but the last episode to this episode was like night and day. It was so weird. What were your overall thoughts on their segment?
It was very weird that we are now being led to believe that this is just a beautiful moment. Everybody's so happy, when we just saw the dad accost Madeline, and all of these lies about Luke are hanging in the air. He gave up all his businesses for you. He gave up his life for you. No, he's running from his own debt. And the way that the story was crafted, this episode would lead you to believe that everything is just perfectly fine and they're setting on a firm foundation. The foundation that they are standing on is as flimsy as the sheer portion of Madeline's dress.
That's good. That's a good analogy. Love it. So listen, y'all, it's their wedding day, and I'm about to give you a spoiler alert. It's real-time tea. That's the rumors in the online streets, which I haven't vetted, but I will tell you that it makes sense, total sense to me. So if you don't want to hear any real life stuff, I mean, we're already on the tell-all, so I'm sure you guys already know some things, but this will be a spoiler. This whole wedding was fake, down to the officiant, fake ceremony. They never actually really got married, is the word on the streets. They had the whole ceremony with someone who was not even ordained to marry them. So that's why they both really didn't get married. They had a they had a party and they pretended to have guests and they pretended to get married and they both got dressed up, but there was nothing legally binding, which is blowing my mind right now. Do you want to say anything about that, Abby? You surprised?
I mean, I won't say that I am surprised. I won't even say that it's not like a smart thing to have done that, you know. No need to be deceptive, but you can have a ceremony, you can have like a commitment ceremony and not have a legal wedding if you're still
Then
working out
say
your
that. Then say
yeah.
that. Then
Yeah,
say
but no need to be deceptive about it.
yeah, because that's not what this show is. If you're gonna have whatever you just said it was, there's no first of all, first of all, no, I'm not gonna say that part. But remind me to tell you something when we're off air, Abby. That being said,
Okay.
I think promise rings and commitment ceremonies are trash. Don't come with me with trash. Come with me with real things.
Yeah. So what we did, I wonder if you would have felt deceived by this. So I got married in 2003, but we didn't have a ceremony until 2006, I think it was. It's so long ago, y'all. I forget. But we didn't tell anybody. Like we had our own anniversary and we just didn't tell anybody that we were already married at the time that we had our ceremony. And there was just like there was a lot of religious stuff going on because it was all this like you're going to hell because you're living together and you're not married. So we just went ahead and got married, got it out of the way, and we just didn't we waited till we had money to have a ceremony.
No, I love that. I love that because it also can bond you if you two have a special little, bond and secret that no one knows and you go off. I would totally do that. I would totally go off and elope and not tell anyone and tell them when I felt like it. I would do something like that 100%. 100%.
I had a friend who literally bawled crying because she felt like I was like not sharing a part of my life with her when she found out.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, I would have to tell my mama because you know, she would take me out. Like you guys already all know that. So I would have to tell her. But if I told no one else, then that'd be okay. I don't mind that. All right,
Okay.
so Madeline, she's nervous. This wedding is a year and a half in the making. She's talking to her aunt Paola, who what I thought the aunt had some really great advice. So she tells the aunt about Jim, right? Luke's dad, and the conversation that they had the night before her wedding, and how aggressive he was, how uncomfortable he made her feel, and told the aunt, yeah, you know what? Luke told him everything about the strippers, about the name on the property, everything. So she doesn't trust him. She, meaning Madeline, does not trust Luke. Some things I absolutely agree should be with just you and your partner. I get it. We all need confidants. We all need people to bounce issues off of. But I've said this and I continue to say this. If you don't want that other person to hate your spouse or your partner or your lover or whatever you're going to call that person, then you better make sure that that issue is just a temporary issue and move on. Because once you make it an issue, like, oh, it's cheating, oh, it's the property, it's finances, that person's going to hate that person forever. They are. It's because they're your people. So they want to protect you. So you've gotten over it, but they're never going to get over it. Okay. So Madeline is telling Paola about how aggressive Jim was, Jim being Luke's dad. And what I love about Paola is she listens, but then says, marriage isn't easy, which it's not. You have to overcome a lot of things when you want to be together, which is true. And family and money can be huge problems in a relationship. But when you want to be together, you have to overcome them together. And that is such beautiful advice, you guys. You overcome your issues with your partner in your marriage, in your relationship, in whatever it is that you're calling it. You overcome together. When you take your relationship stuff outside of the relationship, and then you bring you and your team back, then they go and do the same thing. Now you have a whole bunch of people, and guess what? You get over it, or the other person gets over it, but all the other people have not gotten over it. Just want you guys to think about that.
Hmm. I
So,
understand her intent, but I do want to push back just a little bit on the idea that marriage isn't easy. I think that when people say marriage isn't easy, that it's too much acceptance of wrongdoing unilaterally. I think marriage isn't easy should be intended for things that happen to you as a couple that are not your choice, such as um, losing a parent or getting a promotion at your job that requires relocation, or when you're having children and the adjustments that come with having children. But if you have one partner who's just unilaterally lying to the other partner or cheating on the other partner or violating their trust in some way, I don't think those are the issues that can just fall under the umbrella of marriage isn't easy. It shouldn't be things that you are causing harm to the other person in the marriage. And I think if your friend comes to you and says, I don't trust him, they might be looking for you to help them out, not to box them back into that relationship. Okay, well, what do you want to do about it? Like, do you want to stay here? Do you want to go? Like, I think that sometimes we need to let people have a way out of a situation instead of just saying, oh, well, some things are tough. You just have to fight through it when it comes to relationships and marriages.
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. I think that that's an absolute way of looking at that for sure. For sure. And especially for females, because we often settle and are told by outside influences that, you just should go back and work on your marriage. And ugh, don't get me started, actually. Just be happy, you guys. Make sure that you're happy first, and then, you know, figure out the rest. Um, then we go to Jim and Luke, and they're getting ready for the wedding. And Jim, to me, Abby, was representing exactly who he was yesterday in this little segment when he said, any second thoughts to Luke? And Luke's like, no, I know we've had our ups and downs, but I really love her. Um, Jim goes, well, I asked Madeline the same question, and she paused and she thought about it. I was like, oh, so you're just a little disturber. You don't want him to get married. And so you're going to see if you can continue. Like last night, you did it aggressively and meanly and stereotypically of a privileged man to a woman who you clearly don't respect and think because she is not living in a first world nation and she's a female, that she's lesser than. And then today
Hmm.
you go to your son and you are poking holes at what she said to you. She paused and had to think about it. Like, grow up, Jim. You're old. What are you doing?
Hmm. Being
Um,
messy, showing us he raised Luke.
that part. That part. So um, that was the first part that I thought, okay, Jim, he's showing us again exactly who he is. But then later on, it gets really weird. So we'll talk about that shortly. Madeline feels confused. She's not sure if they're both ready to get married. And, you guys, I'm like, I mean, let's, okay, I'll take it for what it is, but y'all aren't even doing anything, but okay. wedding dress comes and it's gorgeous. It's bling, 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 bling. And the thing that threw me off a little bit is that, Abby, did you notice she acted like she had never seen the dress? Like she was seeing it for the first time. Like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. And then she wanted to try it on to see if it fits. I mean, from what I know about wedding gowns, that's a whole process. You're nipping and tucking and trying and fitting and sewing and letting loose and all the things, because when you find the dress, that's a whole process. But then when you fit the dress, it might be different than when it's time to get married. So like, how are you just like, you're taking the wedding dress out of the box on your wedding day?
Yeah, it doesn't look like there was any final fitting. Maybe they did the thing where they took her measurements and made it to her measurements, and they don't do a final fitting. I don't know what the traditions are everywhere else.
Well, let me tell you something. That dress was beautiful, you guys, but like this part, if you go back and watch it, this part didn't fit her properly. It sat like this, and then the back part was too loose. So
Yeah, the sheer wasn't done well. I think if you're gonna do sheer for a wedding dress, then it has to wrap all the way around, or else it's gonna buck. Like when you look on her sides, you can see the sheer buckling. So I think if I know very little about fashion, okay, but when I've seen dresses with sheer that look good to me, they wrap all the way around and they do skin color sheer.
That
So
dress didn't fit her very well, but it was a beautiful dress. And yeah, I mean, I love fashion, know a lot about fashion, and I'm saying that dress out of the box was exactly what it was.
it was very pretty. The design of it was very pretty. If
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't know a lot. I just said I don't know a lot about fashion, but if I was commenting on the overall look, I would say that the hair was too harsh for the dress. I feel
Interesting.
like the dress made me want whimsical fairy hair as opposed to such a harsh, angled updo.
Mm. Okay.
That's the vibe I got. But also that's probably not possible in a helicopter.
Listen, then why did you? So, okay. So, first of all, I want to say this, you guys, the question of the day is, would you still marry someone if your engagement had been called off at least 10 times? Would you still marry someone? That's the question of the day. If your engagement was on and off 10 times. Let us know in the live chat. If you're watching the replay, let us know in the replay. Abby, I'm going to start with you with that question of the day.
I'm gonna say hell to the no, 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 no. Absolutely not. Like, what am I sticking around for? If you want to cancel on me over and over, I don't even, when people tell me they're coming to pick up something on Facebook Marketplace, they get one no show. I don't go back to people who no show after the first time. We're moving on to the next buyer.
I mean, you guys already know my answer is, so I don't even need to say it. You guys already know. Okay. No. So I feel like that's a sign. Silver lining says absolutely not. I mean, you guys, let's just not. It's nothing is worth the drama. It's not. Because you know what's going to happen? We already know the statistics. So let's say you have a fully healthy, happy relationship and you get married. That statistic of getting divorced is still high. Can you imagine being toxic, and getting married? Dude, you're going to be divorced within a year. I promise you.
Or just stay together and make each other miserable forever and save the rest of us from somebody else partnering with that person.
You're ridiculous. Okay. This wedding was over the top, extravagant. And for someone who doesn't have money, Luke, I I get you wanted to make her happy, all the things, and I'm sure production probably paid for a lot of it, and but this was an extravagant wedding. So Madeline, okay, you guys saw it, but she came into the island on a helicopter, and the fuel exhaust that comes out, it was pink, as if it was a baby announcement. I didn't get pink because she's female. Because don't they normally do that when they're saying, "Oh, it's a girl"? I don't know. But she came in this helicopter, and then she stood on the side of the helicopter like she was the queen, and it was something else. What were your thoughts on that before I go off on a tangent?
I have a TV production question for you. I don't know if this is even possible, but I was thinking the same thing. Like Luke of low means, not low means, but lower means, who was, negotiating and haggling to try and get this wedding done. I noticed that when she was coming into the wedding venue, that instead of them giving us a beautiful shot with the water in the background, that they gave us a shot of the hotel and the name of the hotel across the back behind her. Is it possible that they could have made some kind of deal with the hotel to get their name in there and that production would honor that? Or is that just them making a horrible decision to get the video from this angle as opposed to the prettier water angle?
No, that absolutely is. That is. So what probably happened is the hotel said, yes, you can come film here, and we'll either give you a discounted rate on rooms and food and beverage and stuff, or free. But however, in trade, you guys are going to promote our hotel. It happens all the time. All the time.
And that would be something that would be worked out between the 90 Day Fiance film crew and the hotel, or Luke and Madeline
The production.
and the hotel. Okay.
So it's all production. So it's the entire production crew. The production then brings it to the network, TLC. TLC says, okay, and then they film. So that being said, it was a lot. The fuel exhaust being pink, the helicopter, I don't know, it was a lot for me. Maybe you guys loved it. If you loved it, let me know in the chat. Let me know in the replay. I just thought it was a whole lot going on. Luke starts crying when the helicopter lands and she's getting out, and crying. Then the dad turns to him, Jim, who's just been showing his true colors. All of a sudden, his representative is back and says, you're a lucky boy. You're a lucky boy. And then Luke goes on to say, he's just so happy. He knows that there are so many problems, but in this moment, all the problems have floated away. Do you know how ridiculous both Luke and Jim sounded in that moment to me?
Delusional twins.
Delusional. Twinsies. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree is absolutely true in this case. Anyways, Luke says he's feeling overwhelmed. He's just so happy to see her. He loves her so much. They're having their wedding. The other thing that irritated me, and I don't know if it irritated anyone else, is the officiant was reading from her phone. Luke read his and Madeline read her vows from their phones. And I just thought that bugged me a lot.
That's such an easy thing to make pretty. You can easily just print that out on some pretty stationery. That's such an ugly photo for everyone to have their phone in their hands.
Listen, first of all, for my wedding, dear future husband, listen up. Go ahead and replay this. For my wedding, first of all, there has to be like a proper officiant. I don't want someone that went on to 1-800wedding.com. I need a proper officiant. I'm going to need some Bibles in there. I'm going to need, like Abby said, if you hadn't memorized it, even though maybe we've been engaged for X amount of months, then I don't understand, like, why can't you memorize your vows? And if you can't because you have a terrible memory, then you better go ahead and put that on some nice stationery. Make it old school, because what you're not about to, there, no phones. No phones. No phones for the vows, for the officiant. I just think it's tacky and it looks just terrible. You come in on a helicopter, but you pull out your cell phone for your vows, and the vows weren't even that long. You can't remember 3 sentences. Anyway,
You know, he wanted to Te Amo at the end. I was just for fun. I was like translating the lyrics out loud while I was watching it. And when he got to the part where he switched to like the little bit of Spanish, my brain went all wackadoodle. Like, wait, what? What? It was the first time that ever happened to me.
The other thing, since I'm on a tangent, that really bugged me is that production, when you're doing the close-up, you know, I know you do more than one take. So you do the close-up. Luke is reading his vows. He's got some fluff, something on his eyes, and he's got a fluff on his lip. And it was very distracting. And then so when he was saying all his lovey-dovey words, I couldn't hear any of them. And I didn't rewind it because I rewind it, it's still going to be those things that are distracting. So whoever didn't catch that in production, shame on you. Like, do the touch up and do the retake.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I said it. My note, Abby says, Luke has something on his eye and his lip. Producers, what? And then it gets flipped again. Jim is like, oh, I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy. Fireworks and kissing and all the stuff. Whatever. It was fake anyways.
Yeah.
Do you want to add anything else to them before I move on to Sumit and Jenny?
Do I have anything on my list? No. Production. Yeah, I asked my question about that. No, let's go. Sumit and Jenny.
Thoughts on their segment?
Yeah, you know what? I feel like I had a mental breakthrough a little bit. Because you know how I keep on asking, why is it so important for him to live with his family? Like, no, it's not just not, I understand, like, there's benefits you get from multi-generational housing, but in his particular case, it was escaping me. Why does he want to live there so bad? And he said, how can you enjoy your life without your family? He said that to Jenny. And I was like, oh. So he has a mental block that he literally cannot be enjoying his life without, like, so maybe he thinks of this the same way, because I don't live near my mom, you know, like I could enjoy my life without being right up underneath my mom, but I have a sister who needs to talk to my mom 3 or 4 times a day and see her like on an every other day basis. We always joke that if ever anything happens to my mom, she's not going to let us bury her. She's going to have her taxidermied and put in her garage. So he's one of those people, like my sister, who just, your life is not full or complete or settled if you don't have your family right beside you. Maybe I should have got that sooner.
I like how it's shocking to you, and I also like how you're like, oh no, that could not be for me, because you called it a mental block.
It would never occur to me that would need to be a part of my daily life. Maybe that's a youngest child thing.
You know, I mean, maybe. Is he's not younger than his brother. His brother's younger than him. He's the older brother. Abby can't get it. Abby's like, O-H to the E-L-L, no. There's absolutely no way that I'm living up here with all my family members. We're not living under one house. I can't understand it. She's been asking the question, you guys, from the beginning. And she thought she had the breakthrough today. But if you notice, she called it a mental block. It's just not for her. It's not, she cannot imagine it.
I cannot imagine it. The last time my family came to visit me here in DC, my sister made a mistake on the hotel and she was like, "Oh, I got the hotel for the night after we arrive. So we'll just stay with you for one night and then we'll go to our hotel." While they were on the plane, I booked them a hotel.
Listen, girl, I am not mad at you. Know what's right for your mental health, y'all. You know your families. We all know our families. You got to do what's best for you and keep it pushing. That's hilarious. I guess that could be another question for the Jenny and Submit segment. The question is for you guys: would you live in a multi-generational household? Is that important to you to be close to your family? Let us know. We already know how Abby feels. Jenny's having a complete temper tantrum, old school childlike temper tantrum. She walks away from Smith, gets into the car, arms are crossed, huffing and puffing. And she is firm on moving out of this house. And she tells Sumit very angrily that she has regrets about leaving the apartment and that he should have tried harder to keep it. And he's like, "What are you talking about? It's not about that for me. I need my family. I need to live close to my family." That being ostracized for all those years was concerning to him. And he's much happier now that they've all reunited. Then he also says the practical side is that we need our family. We have no money. We're broke. So we lost our apartment because, y'all, he don't work and she's on a fixed income and she ain't trying to do anything but sit on, you know what I'm saying? So they're broke. So the rent that's being paid or whatever it is at Mama Sadna's house, that's getting paid by them. So Sumit and Jenny are sitting pretty at the house paying no bills because they got no money. And so he made so 2 points. So for first point, he is most happy when he's around his family. He needs his family. Second, they're broke. The family's supporting them for at least like the shelter and the food part. They're broke. Third thing he said is that they were isolated for so long and they didn't accept Jenny for so long. And now they've accepted her. And he said to Jenny, "You wanted to be part of this family for so long. And now you're a part of them. And now you want to go away." Doesn't make sense to him. Those are his arguments. Jenny's like, "Well, I don't like it here. I hate it here. We're moving." She's like, I'm not enjoying my life right now. I'm not enjoying that they're calling me fat and lazy. I mean, I don't think they should say that to her because that's not very nice to say to someone. But
is she?
I mean, I didn't know how. Thank you, Abby, because I was like, how do you say this in a nice way? I mean, she has said that she doesn't want to do anything at all. You know, she hasn't learned the language in 7 years. She's like Abby said, we now know why she doesn't want to go to the market because she can't count. Oh my God, let me stop. Let me just stop. I felt the Lord say, "Stop talking, Linda. You're about to go on a tangent and it's not."
So I will say something while you stopped yourself. Sumit had a very fundamental misunderstanding of their situation in the past. He thinks that Jenny was fighting for the family to accept her. Jenny never cared if that family accepted her. She cared whether or not Sumit would get whatever permission was required or release was needed from that family for them to get married and be together. She was not independently invested in that family accepting her. So he's got a a fundamental misunderstanding of their history.
Agreed. Agreed. Um, he then goes on, Simic then goes on to talk about how when they were living on their own, they spent too much money. And now they can't afford to live on their own. And I thought about that and I thought that's interesting because, like, Jenny already admitted that she can't count, right? So she wasn't in charge of the finances. And then Sumit has never had a real job. So I don't know. Maybe he's really good with finances, but together they were terrible because they just kept spending and enjoying life until they couldn't enjoy it anymore and they had to move home. So Jenny gives him an ultimatum. Either they're moving out of the house together or she's going to move out on her own, which I just don't believe because Jenny, where are you going to go? I thought about that. Where are you going to go?
Yeah, where are you going to go? Where are you going to negotiate for a place without speaking the language and understanding anything and having any reliable income from, India, just your Social Security? And what would be the point? What would be the point of you relocating on your own in that country if you and Sumit are not together?
Where are you going to go? Unless you're saying you're moving back to Palm Springs to be with your family, you have not assimilated to India in any type of way that you are going to make any decisions that make sense. You're going to live in
Right.
India and do what? Do what? Watch TV? What are you going to do? It makes no sense. So this ultimatum, okay, bye. If you're moving, bye. And I thought this was an interesting thing, Abby, that she says at the end. She's like, I feel stuck. She feels trapped with Sumit having the upper hand. It's an interesting thing to say in a relationship when you feel like your spouse has the upper hand. It's an interesting thing to say, 100% interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And interesting, not in a good way.
Mm.
Kid, you're playing. Anyways, it's not in a good way. I don't think. Could be. Do you want to add anything else?
Yeah, it's not. It's not in a good way. It's the way that they're talking past each other is just very interesting here. Sumit not understanding what their past is, Jenny not understanding what their financial capabilities are at present or going forward. They're not speaking to each other whatsoever.
Listen, like Josla said, this story is getting old. Yeah, okay, you guys. You fought for 1,000 years to be together. Now you're together, and then now you were fighting with the family, and now you're fighting with the family again. And now what? Are you trying to tell me after all this fighting to be together that you guys are gonna leave each other? And where are you gonna go? All right, moving on to the last. And listen, Chloe, I'm proud of you, girl. Chloe and Johnny, overall thoughts on their episode or their segment?
Johnny gave us like 15 different horrible versions of himself in this 30-minute episode. It was actually wild how much he was vacillating between being an absolutely atrocious, horrible person into asking for forgiveness. The way that he was moving from one end to the other was, if it was an acting exercise, spectacular, Academy Award. But like as a person, to behave the way that he was behaving, psychotic.
Renee, I mean, she makes a good point, I guess. She says, my boyfriend's mom has lived in the US for 50 years and she barely speaks English. I don't see the issue with Jenny. And at 68 years old, I'm not trying to work a full-time job. Why should she? Fair. That is very valid, Renee. It's very valid.
I mean, Renee, it's valid, I guess, and to the extent that you can afford the things that you need. If there are things that you need that you can't afford, you have to do something for it. You get a regular job or you can get on Craigslist and do something funny for some money.
Jenny on Craigslist is hilarious. Okay, so listen, you guys. I think Jenny, excuse me. I'm moving on to Johnny and Chloe. I think Johnny is an example of everything you want to stay away from. I think Johnny is the epitome of toxic, of scary, of unreliable, of gaslighting, of um, fear mongering, love bombing, all of these things wrapped up into one person. And what was crazy for me to watch, you guys, was every part of him, all 10 parts of the evil Johnny came out. And he wanted to see which one was going to work. Which one's going to work? Should I bully her? Should I love bomb her? Should I blame her? Should I scare her? Like all the things. He tried everything, everything. And to see it in such, like Abby said, in such a short period of time, you guys, it was like psycho. Like I was like, this is like first 48 stuff. This is like ID channel stuff. I'm sorry. That's how I felt. Actually, I'm not
No,
sorry. Because that's exactly
I'm so happy she had cameras with her.
Yes, absolutely. And the way he was like calm talking her the whole time until he got outside, and then he's had these weird, crazy emotions, it was crazy. I was like, oh, that is true sociopath behavior. I wonder if he's ever been to a therapist and like got checked out. Cause I don't know, or at least Johnny, watch that segment back. Anyways.
Also noticed that while he was like going on his tangents, his accent started to slip into a very like Colombian Venezuelan accent. Did you feel any of that? Because I've been saying I didn't think this dude was a Reuben.
I didn't pick that up, but maybe I'll go back and watch it, that last part again, because it would be a really great case study, you guys, because it was wild.
Mm-hmm.
It was wild to just see. So Chloe's crying. All she wants to do is go home, and says to Johnny, there's nothing you can say anymore. And what was crazy, like I keep saying, is he's trying to turn everything on Chloe. So he was mad that he felt that she was portraying him as a terrible, evil person. And he's like, yeah, I cheated. Yeah, I asked for the nude photos. Yeah, I did all these things, but you're just mad because you didn't know who it was. Not because I cheated, but it's because you didn't know who it was. And then you saw the video and then you got mad, and you should not have gone through my phone. Like how you handled that was wrong, because you should not have gone through my phone. Yeah, I told you I was going to delete it, but you should not have gone through my phone. How you handled it was wrong. Like you should not have touched my stuff, and you should not have gone through my phone. And even though I lied to you, it's your fault. You should not have gone through my phone. And then she's like, what? You slept with her, did you not? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, so did you not lie? And he's like, looking at her, and then she's like, and did you not lie about deleting the videos? Had you deleted the videos, then I wouldn't have found it in your phone. He says, you want to talk about lying? And he goes back to the fact that she went through his phone. I was like, oh, okay, we're going to stick here. And he's like, you want to talk about lying and going through some phone, and you were going to tell people what a cheating, evil person I am, and I cannot deal with someone talking bad about me. That's what you want to know what it is, you guys. So he's mad that she's not only found out that he's a cheating liar, but that she's told her whole inner circle, and they've told everyone what he doesn't want. So here's what a cheater doesn't want. Here's what a cheater and a liar doesn't want. They don't want you to tell anyone, because then everyone on that small Aruban island is gonna know. So when you as a female can keep a secret, he guess what? All the women are keeping secrets because they all think they're the only ones. But as soon as you blow the lid open, then this other lady's like, oh yeah, and he's oh yeah, oh yeah, oh. And bit by bit, they find out what a lying, cheating sack of manure you are. That's why cheaters don't want you to talk about them. So he's like saying he's worried about his reputation. He's worried about people thinking that he's evil. No, you just don't want the whole world to know that you're a lying, cheating scumbag. You also don't want your community of women that you've been cheating with to know about each other. That's what it is. So when you were trying to gaslight Chloe by saying, oh, you went through my phone and you are talking bad about me and you're wrecking my reputation. No, sir. You wrecked your own reputation because you showed the whole world, and Chloe specifically, that you're not a stand-up guy. You're not a man of your word. Okay? You don't own up to anything that you do. So you can't always be right, Johnny. So in this situation, yeah, you admitted that you cheated and you lied, but where's the remorse and where's the changed behavior? So he then goes on to gaslight again, you guys. 90% of 90 Day Fiance viewers are women. So when I say he's gaslighting us women, the audience as well in this situation in 2026, yeah, it was filmed last year. That's not the point. We are too grown and we are too advanced in 2026 to hear stupid stuff. So he goes and says, Abby, but I'm a guy and I like women. Okay. Woo. I was just about to go off. So you just want to say that because you're a man and you like women, you should be able to go and do whatever you want to do. You should be able to cheat and get nudes and cheat again because you're a man and you like women. You can't like women that much because here's what's happening. You're lying and cheating on one that you allegedly committed to, but then you're treating all the other women that you're sleeping around with as if they don't mean anything to you. Their bodies mean something to you, but that's it. So what part of you likes women? It's confusing me. Because on the one hand, you're a liar and a cheater. And on the other hand, you're an objectifier. So which part of you is I'm a guy and I like women? Which part is that? Curious. I'm a guy, I like women. And then, okay, he flips it because remember, it's her fault. You don't treat me well. So he's now gone into, I've cheated because you don't treat me well. You've never treated me well. And I don't want you, he says. Johnny, don't want you, Chloe, he says, full stop. Then he goes on to say, you treat me like poop. So I don't have to do all this for someone who wastes my time and who talks bad about me. So I don't want you. So you see how he's now flipped it? It's her fault because he cheated, because she doesn't treat him well all of a sudden. All of a sudden, she doesn't treat him well. And by treating him well means she doesn't cook and clean for him, literally. She's like, you cheated. My note even said, you cheated. So you went from all the reasons why it's her fault to now that you don't want her. You literally said, I don't want you. You treat me like crap. I need you guys to keep that in the back of your mind because Chloe responds by, you cheated. And if you're saying, you know, you did all this because you're a guy, my dad was a guy. He never did this to my mom. My ex was a guy and he's never done this. I was like, go ahead, Chloe. 23, but smart. Smart when it comes to these men because she is not messing around. There's no second, third chance. She's standing her ground. She knows what she wants. She knows what she deserves. She's not letting the mental manipulation affect her. She's like, yes, she's hurt, all the things, but she is not responding to all of the manipulation that he was trying to do to her. She's like, you know what? I just asked for loyalty. He goes back to say that he's worried mostly about his reputation. But again, Johnny, you're the only one that has wrecked your reputation in this situation. Chloe's done nothing wrong at all. And yes, she moved her life and all the things, but she has done nothing wrong in this relationship for you to treat her this way and then for you to try to manipulate her in this way. Scary. Then he goes on. So you guys, Abby, he's already told her that it's her fault, told her that that he doesn't want her, told her that she didn't treat him well. And now he tells her that she's not worth it. So we're down to the part where you're trying to wreck her self-worth. You're not worth it and we're not compatible. And she's like, okay, well, okay. She grabs her stuff and she starts taking her bags out. He pulls up one of her bags. She's like, you know what? You don't need to help me. I got this. He's like, well, the faster you're out of here, the better. He's realizing that she's actually leaving. So he has another attempt, right? This is not the last attempt, but another attempt. He's like, oh, and you left your rings in the bathroom. And she's like, what are you talking about? What rings? Goes to the bathroom. She's like, these are not my rings. He realizes that he's now outed himself for like however many times this man has cheated, who knows? And so he reels it all back in. He's outside and then says to her, why can't you just be nice to me? I would take you back, he said. Why can't you just be nice to me? I would take you back. 5 seconds ago, you said she's not worth it. 10 seconds ago, you said that she didn't treat you well. And 15 seconds ago, you said you didn't want her. This is my note. And this is the last thing I'm going to say about Chloe and Johnny for this segment, is that he's a trash individual. And yay for Chloe for standing up for herself. This is another situation where I'm glad there was a camera crew and a car waiting for her. Because this right here was the craziest thing I've seen. 15 minutes of every single type of scary manipulation, toxic masculinity, all wrapped up into a terrible individual who doesn't take ownership of his poor behavior. And if Chloe was any less of a woman, meaning that she wasn't so self-assured and so secure in her decisions about what she wants to do with her life, I could see how someone who was lesser than, like, had insecurities, could fall for one of the things that he was trying. Wild.
Mm-hmm.
Abby, your thoughts, go.
I have one thing, like you said, everything that he said that I wrote down, but there's just one thing that he said that I really like flipped about. The way she reacted was disappointing. He said the way she reacted to his transgressions was disappointing. When you wrong someone, you do not get to dictate how they respond to your wrong.
What she said. Yeah, disgusted. I was disgusted.
I would never look at him like, okay, it didn't work out between Johnny and Chloe. Maybe he can go on the single life or whatever. I would never suggest that he partner with anyone ever. I would like to exile him to the island of lonely men.
Unfortunately, in real world, and I've caught up on the tea in the real world, and so we know that that's not what happens for him. But when I do get it back together on social media, guys, listen, you guys already know how when I drop the tea, I just drop it. So I know everyone knows already what's going on with him, but there's part of it that you guys don't know that I'm going to get to shortly. That
You
being
gotta stay tuned to
said,
TMW Online to get the info.
you guys don't forget to like and subscribe. And we're caught up now. We're gonna do the tell all. And I guess we should not surprise them and just tell them we are going to do part 1 of the tell all tomorrow, same place, same time tomorrow. So we'll be all caught up. So we'll see you guys tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Set your clocks. And thank you guys for being here. We'll see you guys soon.
Good night.
Bye.
Or good afternoon for you guys out there.
Good afternoon, Charlie. I don't even know what that means.
I like it, whatever it is.
We need an outro video. I keep forgetting.